All right, guys, welcome back to the Present Father podcast. Today is a conversation I think every father, especially stepdad or a father who didn't have a perfect beginning, needs to hear. My guest is Cameron. He's a MRI tech, husband, and a father of two amazing girls. But here's the thing: he didn't start off as a father like majority of us who prepare for 9 months. He basically became a dad overnight. Cam, him and his wife were newlyweds, trying to plan a vacation or have vacations. He just had this whole plan ready um, after he got done with MRI school. And suddenly he became responsible for two little girls. Today, we're talking about resentment, alcohol, self doubt, healing in your inner child, and what it looks like to eventually a child call him dad. Cameron, welcome to the Present Father podcast, brother.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, thank you for joining. So, who was Cameron before the kids?
Man, I was just spinning my wheels, man, trying to figure out a career choice. I was a transporter at the local hospital. Me and my wife had just moved out. Just trying to figure stuff out, man. It was just like we're struggling, but we were young, but so everything seemed like it was cool. It wasn't a big deal that we're making $13 an hour or whatever. We're just having a good time, but um, eventually, then I got into school and stuff like that, and then it was just everything seemed cool because it was like, well, we're young. This is just what you're supposed to go through.
Yeah, so $13 an hour, man. What did that look like? You said you had like no internet, one car. Like, how was that
Yeah,
struggle?
dude. Yeah, bro. I mean, it was rough, but yeah, it was just. At first, it was cool because we were like making it and we had our own spot, so it was like exciting, But then like
Yeah.
that reality sets in, man. Where you're like, damn, dude, I can't afford shit over here. Like we had internet at first, dude. I had to cancel that, bro. Just had the one car. That was more like when I was in MRI school, so that made it kind of tough. To only having one car, but
Yeah.
school full time, work full time, dude, and not even having no money for nothing, man.
So what sacrifices did you like? I was just listening. So the sacrifices before you became a dad, what were the sacrifices you had to give up?
Well, just a lot of family time, man, because my family is like pretty close knit, so we were always hanging out. But yeah, I was gone for. I would go to work in the morning, like 7 to 3:30, and then I would have to drive down to Ontario, go to school 5 to like 11. So I'd be gone for like 16 hours a day. That was pretty much 5 days a week, and then when you get to the externship, I was doing 16-hour days at the hospital with work and the externship, and then I had to work on Saturdays.
Man,
So it
so
was just,
you
man, I didn't have. And
steadily
that's when my
hustling.
wife was by herself pretty much a lot, like while I was gone, because we just had the one car. So she would just work on the weekend when I was at work. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If I was home, she would have to go. So we didn't really see each other that much, So it was just kind of like keep your head down and keep pushing, man.
Yeah, that's how like kind of like my life is with my wife working she's full-time too, so she works Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it's like sometimes we don't even get to see each other even with the
Yeah,
kids. And I think as parents we we go through that where you don't get to see your spouse for a few days because you're over there steadily hustling. But
yeah.
something stood out to me in your question in your bio, um, that I kept reading over, and you say you didn't really see yourself as a dad. Why?
I think like at the beginning, because everything was so sudden, man. And just the way that it happened, it was like so when we got the kids, it was just like an overnight call. It was like literally the day that I finished MRI school, and they were just like, "Hey, like, the kids have been removed. Can you guys be like emergency foster parents?" So we're like, obviously, like, yeah, like that's our nieces.
Yeah.
Um, and they were like, but they didn't give us the timetable on anything, so they were just like, "Oh yeah, like they'll have the parents will have a court case like in 2 weeks." So we're like, "Yeah, we can make it 2 weeks."
Did
Get the
you?
kids or whatever. 2 weeks goes by, we go to the court case, and then they're like, we're gonna have another court case in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like the parents have this, these, and these things they have to do.
Did you?
So it was kind of like that at first, man. It was just like living 6 months at a time, like not knowing, basically it's like, all right, well, we have the kids now, so like these are our kids, we have to raise them and stuff. But at the same time, you like are in the back of your mind, you're like, I mean, they could go back on the next court case, so you're like almost guarded a little bit, where you can't
Yeah.
really like fully like give in to like, all right, I'm a dad now. You're kind of like, well, I mean, we're just taking care of them. So like in the early like couple years, it was just like it was kind of like that. You know, it was like, well, I mean, they just live with us and we're taking care of them. I'm doing everything we can for them, obviously, but at any moment we can go back to court and they could be like, all right, they're good, they can go home now. And then now here my wife are like,
So did you find yourself kind of hard to get like emotionally attached?
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I kind of just like kept myself in that uncle
Yeah.
like role for a while.
So, man, I again like your story, and I wanted to bring you on because I give you a lot of props of what you did, and again, not too many men out there can do what you have done, what you and your wife have done, and I give you mad props to doing that, to becoming a dad to two little girls, and you know, I bet they are so grateful for you and your wife. At what point did you realize, like, yeah, this is it? Like, I'm their dad.
It was a couple years down the line, man. Like so after like the 2 years of going back and forth with the court stuff, they finally were like, all right, now like you guys want to adopt him, So we're like, obviously, yeah, it's been 2 years at this point. We're not gonna just be
Yeah,
like, nah, man, they can go back. But it was still like, then it was still for me like not knowing where I stand with them. You know what I mean? Because I mean, they still like talk about their bio parents and stuff like that. So I'm like, but after a while, there was stuff said or whatever to where my oldest was kind of like done with trying to have see them or have a relationship or whatever. Um, and then she started calling my wife mom because she was just Nina before.
yeah,
And then she was just like, "Hey, like, is it cool if I call you Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, like, of course, like whatever you want to call me. I could be Cameron, Dad. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with." Because I had my parents were divorced when I was young, so I had stepdads and stuff pretty much my whole life, and I never called my stepdad dad or anything like that. But I had a relationship with both of my dads, so I didn't ever want to press that on her. That's her decision. But I think once she started calling me dad, and then um, we were kind of more. My wife was in school and stuff, and it was kind of just me like being Mr. Mom a lot.
yeah,
And then it was kind of more like, hey man, like you gotta like step up and like I mean they're looking at you to be this guy, and you're like need to like also step into that role too. Like you're holding back for no reason now. Like now they think of you as their dad, so you need to like step in and be your dad.
yeah. So how was that feeling the day she called you dad, man? Like, that's those words. As even when my daughters, when they first learned how to say dad,
Yeah.
that feeling was amazing. How did that make you feel when she was like, "Can I call you dad?" Like that just shows how much she looks up to you. Like, man, explain the feeling you had, because it had to be the same feeling, if not close to it, the way a child learns how to say dad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was the same thing, dude. It's like amazing, man. Like it caught me off guard too because we were just like driving
Yeah,
back from the store or something like that. And so she was in the back seat and she was like trying to get my attention. And she kind of like said dad and then stuttered and called me Cam. And then she was like, "Can I just call you dad?" So then I was just like, so it caught me off guard. But yeah, it's like that same feeling, man, where you're like, damn, dude, like never being called that before or not thinking that you were that. And then once they like kind of see that, I was like, oh, dude, like it
yes.
means a little bit more now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it totally means it, man. It totally means a lot. Like even now, like there's a country song called "Front Door Famous." I forgot who's the country singer by, but man, just like when you walk in through that front door and your kids are just waiting for you, man. It's a great feeling that you know you're out there hustling, and there's gonna be, when you get home, someone to appreciate you
Yeah.
more
Yeah, I
than
know that
what
feeling for
you
sure,
are
dude. My
with.
kids still do that at 1 o'clock in the morning when I walk in the door.
Yeah, that's the great thing. It's like, damn, okay, I know why I'm going to work. Like,
Yeah.
fucking sucks, but I know why I'm going to work. But
Yeah.
going into it, you also shared something that you had the courage to admit during the time when everything was going through. It's like you were drinking a lot. Was it just to like to numb out the what was going on? How was alcohol and trying to be a dad? How did you try to figure how did you try to figure that out? Because I know you said you weren't abusive, you weren't angry. It's just the sudden change.
Yeah, I mean, we're always kind of like, I drank kind of before already,
Yeah,
but like I said, same thing. I was like struggling, couldn't afford to go anywhere, so it was just like, oh, we'll just hang out and have some whiskey,
yeah,
after work or on the weekends or something, just chilling. But then with that whole thing, everything went down, man. I think it was just like a combination of like I was saying, like having like this vision of what it was going to be like when I was done with school. For me and my wife, struggling for so long and being, like, oh, when I'm done, we'll be able to buy whatever. We'll get 2 cars. Like, it's not even like we were going to go on crazy vacations. It was like we're going to be able to live now. And then that switch up of like what I thought everything was going to look like to like, oh, now you have 2 kids and you can't really plan anything because you don't know if you're going to have these kids in 6 months or not. So you can't get a bigger spot because you don't want to get a bigger spot and then not need all these extra rooms, or you don't know what type
yeah,
of car you should buy. So it's just all this pressure of like, dude, like, I don't know, your life's in limbo. You had this vision of what it was going to be. Now it's like totally switched. But now it's like the added pressure of like, even when I got done with school, I wasn't like technically working as an MRI tech yet for like the first 3-4 months. So you're just like, damn, like, I don't know if I can like raise kids. I don't know how to raise kids. Dude, we like went from no kids to 6 and a 2-year-old. And like my youngest literally was like, had just turned 2 in diapers, couldn't talk. You know what I mean? Like we got to have a straight up baby.
yeah.
So I
Man,
was like, damn, dude, I don't know how to do this. So it was like more of like an escape, you know what I mean? Like feeling like coming home and, I don't know how to do it at all, but like I'm just like beating myself up of like, man, like you got to figure this out quick.
yeah.
So it was more of like an escape more than anything.
And with
Trying to just
that,
take the edge off of stress and stuff like that and like feeling like, I need to have some beers so I can just like relax and like be cool
so
with the kids, you know what I mean? Not being like all high strung and shit.
yeah, so it brought a lot of pressure, obviously,
Yeah.
and being a dad in itself, in any situation, even preparing for 9 months, it's a lot of pressure because trying to make sure you can provide, to make sure you do have a house, make sure you do have the right car, man. Like, I totally understand. When your daughter finally called you dad, did that just change everything in you, as in like, man, now I have to become a man, like this is it, like it's time?
Yeah, definitely. It was more like, I'm not just like, I'm not here in the house providing and stuff. It's like now I'm like, there's a role that I need to be playing. Like I need to be more than just, I just pay the bills type guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did it, when the transformation came and you started providing, and you were a dad, did you all of a sudden just start emotionally getting attached, knowing they weren't going to go nowhere, knowing that these are your kids, and now you just got to hustle harder?
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely like a lot more towards like, um, I think more of it happened like when my wife was in school, like I'm saying, because it was a lot of like she would be gone a couple nights out of the week staying at my cousin's house.
Yeah,
So it was just me and the kids, and I think at that time my oldest was like kind of going through stuff at school. She was kind of becoming more like preteen, teenager. So she's having like school stuff problems, like stuff that comes along with that. Just like the low self esteem stuff, everything that like teenagers go through. So she's like coming to me and talking to me about stuff, and it just reminded me a lot of like myself being at that age. So it was like kind of like talking to her more and like having her come to me with her problems. So I was kind of like, all right, man, like, this is like our little thing. I mean, this is like like I got to help her through this, because then it kind of felt like I'm helping myself too with some of the problems I was having.
yeah,
So I think around that time is kind of when like the emotional, it really like filled into like that father role. It's like, dude, I got to be here for them no matter what, like with everything, because she's going through stuff. And you know what I mean? Like I can't just be some guy who was like, oh, I don't know, wait till your mom gets home type stuff.
yeah. So so going through, like you said, you had to be there for her. you felt like she was going through some of the stuff you were going through, like, and we were talking about your inner child, like what were you going through as a child that you felt that she was going through? Because obviously she's been living, your kids have been living with you for a while, and they tend to start mimicking who we are, and
Yeah.
you see yourself in them and they see themselves in you. um what what challenges were you as a child with you that you see in your daughter that y'all were going through, that she was going through?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just like um, a lot of it probably has to do because she was 6 when they came to live with us, so she kind of remembers a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she knows like how to like put the two and two together, but I'm sure there's a lot of like, you know, her not feeling like she's enough is tied to like her parents not doing what it takes to get them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then with me being a kid, my parents are divorced, and I don't really remember them being together, the divorce really. But like, I have an older brother who was going through his stuff and struggles and everything, so my parents were like really focused on him. And then I have another sister from my dad, like my stepdad. She's the only girl. That's his only like bio kid, you know. So like, she got a lot of attention. So I kind of like fell into that like the stereotypical like middle kid
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was just kind of there. Um, I don't remember really talking to anybody much. I was kind of just entertaining myself because my brother was always doing his own thing.
Yeah, that's how
My
I feel. I
sister is like
feel.
really small, you know what I mean? Because we're all like 6 years apart.
Yeah.
So I kind of just spent a lot of time by myself, man. And the only time I feel like I ever like got any attention is like, oh, I cleaned the whole house. Everybody's like, oh, good job, man. Thanks for cleaning. Or I mowed the lawn outside. It was like everything was always like had to do with like a task I performed, or like it was all like performance based, kind of how I felt growing up.
Yeah. So now that you have grown up and you see that, um, have you changed the way, as being a parent? Have you changed that way of raising your kids now? Is like
Yeah, definitely,
you don't
dude.
see them as like, hey, you cut the grass, or hey, you wash the dishes. Like you see more to them than the task that they performed.
Yeah, dude. I always like try to remind them, man, like, because my daughter will come home, she's like, "Oh, I got straight A's, or I passed my test." With, you know, like obviously proud of it, but they would always make like comments like, "Oh, aren't you like proud that you guys have kids that have straight A's?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, but I'm more proud that you guys are just like cool people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want
So
them to feel like their worth is like their value is based in like achievements
yeah.
or like being a good athlete or you know stuff like that. It's like, dude, you guys are good people. You guys are cool. Like, I like hanging out with you, and like that's what I'm more proud about.
And
Like that stuff, it should be your like achievements that you are proud of in yourself.
yeah. So
That's not like for me.
I was reading when I was reading your bio that you sent me. Um, Again, like I've told you, even before we got together, is that, man, truly you've inspired me in the sense of like, I'm big on the whole like academics, like you gotta pass, because
Yeah,
I know my life was hard in the sense of not getting good grades. Like that was the tough part, and I felt like I always let my dad down with like not getting good grades, and I've always pushed that on my kids. And even when it comes to sports, I know you hear me talk like mad trash about cheerleading and how hard I put on them, but I feel like I put that pressure on them. And reading when I was reading yours and how you just share the whole like, hey man, I'm just proud of you and what you do. You should be proud of your own grades, and you don't put that pressure on them. That inspired me to look at my whole picture as as a dad, and the kind of pressure that I put on my own kids, man. Because it's like, you just don't want them to fail.
yeah,
I went, and obviously I went through a struggle with school because maybe even I didn't put my all into it. It was probably the easiest thing to do. You and I both know like MR school was probably fucking hard as shit, probably
yeah,
harder than damn high school. And graduate out of that and you barely graduate out of high school. Like it doesn't make any sense. So you've inspired me as a dad, just to kind of step back and relax and just give them a little bit of breathing room. And I thank you for that. But
Yeah, man.
going into it, you were saying that your kids are like your homies. Like, how
Yeah,
does that
dude.
look? Like taking them golfing and doing all the things. And since you were like the mom dad at home while your wife was at work, how did that look, and how did that build the whole relationship of you three?
Yeah, man. So like, I mean, all my buddies kind of live far, and like we have basically like differing schedules, so I don't really get to hang out with my friends that much because they're kind of in the same boat, working a lot and stuff. So basically, dude, those are like my only friends when I was going through all that. My wife was gone, or even if she was home, like she's studying hard, man. She's like had to do like a bachelor's program for mechanical engineering, so even if she was home, if she was just doing homework, and I was like, all right, we won't bug you. So it was just like, hey, yo, kids, you guys want to go play some disc golf, or you guys want to go? I would go down and get my haircuts down the hill on my days off, and I'd be like, yo, bring the kids with. We go out, cruise around Victoria Gardens or whatever.
Yeah.
Those that literally became like my only friends that I ever hung out with. But it's like I liked hanging out with them, so it was like, yeah, dude, bring the kids.
So now that you
I feel like I
see,
was just always with them.
yeah. So now that you see them, and like my kids, they always laugh at me because I always call them the homies too. Like it's funny,
Yeah,
but I always call them y'all are the homies. But what I love too is like you're a gas station dad, bro. I'm a fucking total gas station dad. Like
yeah,
I'm
dude.
all about. My wife hates it, dude. My wife hates it, but the whole gas station dad thing is like I don't know, man. It's something that I guess only dads can share, maybe because that's the only people that go into the gas station. Um,
Yeah, bro. Any gas station, even if I go to Stater Brothers, dude, I'm like, you guys got any requests over there? And I always gotta get some bunch of snacks and shit.
yeah, so that's awesome. Going back to the raising of your kids, um, and going back to again, I'm going back to your inner child, man. It's like has it been difficult trying to raise two girls, man? And how does your being a girl dad look?
It has been difficult just because, I mean, not as hard as I thought it was going to be, really. Um, just because, like, I mean, there's some stuff that they go through that I don't know anything about, obviously. So that's where my wife has got to take over stuff like that. But I try to, like, you know, I think my main thing is like, because I know it's like, especially with my older one, because like, she's 14, so like boys are like in the picture and shit. Um, so I think that's my main thing is not like want to beat up every kid that says what's up to her.
Yeah, I'm there too, man.
You
With
know what I mean?
Sophia. Yeah, I'm totally there
Um,
with Sophia.
but I think, and I've also like, I think it's just my more thing that I have to worry about is like how I carry myself, because how what they say is like like you're like the male role model that they're gonna look for
Yeah,
in a man later on. You know what I mean? So I just always try to like kind of steer her in the right direction of like, hey man, like that guy sounds like bad news or whatever, or this is what he's doing. Just trying to give her like the male side insight, like, hey man, like I know how these fools operate, so
yeah. Well,
like guard yourself, treat yourself with self respect, man. Like don't do nothing.
so what makes your oldest? What makes her special?
Dude, she's like, um,
Does she remind you of anyone?
um, she kind of reminds me of my wife a little bit as far as like very like thoughtful and caring, and they're always like doing something for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like it's always like their first thought is to do something. But she's funny, man, because like she's like got a tough exterior, dude. She acts like she's all like super gangster and stuff. Like she don't care about nothing, but she's super sensitive, man. She takes everything like super to heart. But she's really cool, man. Like super thoughtful. She's like very like articulate, man. Like she's really good with words. Like she's even been like that since she was younger. Like when she was 6, you could sit and have like a straight conversation with her like at 6 years old, dude. And you'd be like, I can't believe this is a little kid right now.
Yeah. So,
So even now at 14, man, like just on Father's Day, dude, she wrote like a whole letter out instead of a card. Some nice stuff in there. But she also like, because I was big too on when it was just me and them and having her like going through her stuff of like getting bullied at school or whatever. We would do like affirmations like every night, like, hey man, like say something about yourself that you're proud of.
oh,
Like that should
that's
be
what's
something
up.
that you repeat, so that way like that's true. Like you got to be like the person to be positive self talking to yourself. Because it's easy to get negative. You know what I mean? Like I do that shit where you just kind of beating yourself up. So I'm like, dude, we got to like reverse that mindset.
Yeah,
So
positive affirmation is huge, especially I think as dads, we especially with girls, because obviously I don't have any boys. We go through that emotion of like I'm not pretty enough to um I don't have the right hair to she doesn't like
yeah,
me like that. I always wanted girls when I was growing up. That's and I'm blessed to be a girl dad. And I think fathers who are girl dads are meant to be girl dads. Like that's just how
yeah,
that's how you're blessed with. Um, Giving them the positive affirmation is tough because you are right. You do want to just go out there and just you protect them. That's you be the papa bear. Like you
yeah,
don't want anybody to hurt your girls because you are right. They are sensitive. They are emotional and I'm going through that with again with my oldest is like we've been through some little things and it's sad because you run it through your mind and you they look at you for the positivity and that's while they're being negative you got to be positive plus be even more positive for them. um so it's a tough challenge and you just hope that we give them the right direction to be better in the sense of going out there and believing in themselves and I feel like
yeah,
that's exactly what you're doing. So let's talk about your little one. She's you said that she's your roll dog.
yeah, bro. She's always down to rage, man. She's like a pretty much the polar opposite of the other one, dude. Like she's just kind of on her own, doing her own thing, man. I mean, she's like sweet too. Every night when we sit down for dinner, she has like a little card that she writes. It's like, "I love you, Dad." She's like, so she sets up the table, so she makes like a little note for everybody.
Yeah.
But dude, she don't take nothing serious at all, man. She's got like my same humor, which is like super frustrating because I'll be trying to have a serious conversation with her, and she's like giving me sarcastic responses back. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fucking make me so mad, dude. But yeah, she's like always outside playing, dude. Like anytime I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there, or like when my wife was in school, she was doing homework, and then like Victoria wasn't really feel like going anywhere. Um, she'd be like, oh, I want to go, like anywhere I wanted to go. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So it's
Yeah.
like, or even if I was outside barbecuing, she's outside with me. You know what I mean? So it's like she was always like cruising around.
So when you were saying that she's your roll dog and she's super sarcastic with you, like what makes her laugh when she's hanging out with you, and what makes you laugh when you're hanging out with her, other than like the sarcasm? Like listening to your story, she's totally you.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I forget, man. She just says funny stuff every once in a while, like off the wall stuff too. You're like, where did that come from? I remember one time we were watching The Voice or something, and then my oldest was like, "Oh, I want to be on The Voice," and then my youngest was like, "Why? You're just gonna lose!" Like out of nowhere, dude. And we all just started dying laughing, man. But she just says stuff like that. She's just like, it's like low key super mean too, but and I don't even think she thinks it's a joke. She's just being super blunt about it.
Yeah, that's how old is she again?
She is gonna turn 10 next month.
Yeah, see, so that's my youngest. That's my youngest. Macy, she bro. Swear to God, man, she is totally like me with long hair, jokester, shit talker,
Yeah,
and it's funny how it's funny how you see them. It's they're you,
yeah,
and it's tough because they do say some sideways stuff, and it makes you realize like, yo, hey, hold on, man, like that's calm down real quick, bro, calm down real quick.
yeah.
So for the dads for the dads that are listening out here, and what advice would you give them, especially with them having girls, or maybe they are fall into your same situation, bro? Your situation is totally unique, and again, I give you mad props on what you do. I give mad props to your wife on how y'all stepped up, and never ever think you're not doing enough because you are doing far more than what your average dad who walks away does.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to that dad out there listening, um, to
Yeah,
listen to the
man. I think.
podcast?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I just think for me, for sure, like with the whole not feeling like you're doing enough stuff, man. Like you for sure are. You know, it's like, I mean, I had to go through that and kind of get myself in that space. I think that's just normal. Like as a man, like always, like feeling like you're need to provide more, and there's always something more you could be doing. But for your kids, man, like they just want you to be around. You know what I mean? Like they don't really need a whole lot. Like they're not gonna remember how much you got paid, or even like gifts that you buy them and stuff like that. Dude, my kids don't remember what they had for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's
so
yeah,
like it's just the day to day stuff that they just want you to be around. You know what I mean? I think that's the main thing you have to remember is like, do like the best. Like you're always saying, like I see on your Instagram posts and stuff. Like the best gift you can give them is just yourself. You know?
yeah, and it
I
is,
think that's
and
like the
now
best
like
thing to remember.
yeah. So Sophia, my oldest, she's 14, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
she just turned 14, actually, and I got her a set of golf clubs, man. So we've been
Dope.
like, yeah, we've been going out, trying to go out every morning. Like she's, you start something you start something, you always want to be on it. You want to be on it. So like
Yeah.
doing that every day, or trying to like get off of work to come home and to play with her and take her out is it's crazy because it is just spending time with them is the most, and making memories is huge. And
Yeah.
as a parent, I'm my wife, I will say, bro, like honestly, has made me become a better father because
Mm-hmm.
she has showed me that time is precious and they're only small for so long.
Yeah.
Um, and that was hard for me because it's a constant. You're the dad. You're supposed to grind. You're supposed to go to work. You're supposed to, you're gonna miss the things because you're gonna be out there holding it down and making sure they do, or they are able to do the things. Your wife, like, what has she done to make you into the man and the father you are today?
Well, I think a lot of man is just like holding it down. Like when I was going to MRI school, and then just kind of like being that listening ear when I would be, frustrated about something or not knowing what I'm doing. Because I would always talk to her about like stuff that I'm feeling, and so like we would just have long talks, dude. And she would always just like reassure me that we're doing a good job, and like because she didn't really know her dad either, so she would always be like, man, like I wish I had a dad like you growing up. So it just kind of was always like her kind of helping me, like find the value of myself for sure. Helped out a lot.
Yeah, wives, bro. Like, my wife, she has taught me a lot, and being my ace boon coon, man, my ride or die chick, my helper through it all. And
Yeah.
we got to give mad props to to our wives, because without them, honestly, I feel like it would obviously be a lot harder, especially because we're girls. And like you said earlier, there's just things that we cannot teach our daughters, and
Yeah.
we need their moms, and we need our wife to step in and to do that. How has it been balancing being a husband and being a dad, and also being a provider?
Yeah. Well, I think I've always tried to like maintain that like you always got to put your wife first in like that relationship, because if that relationship falls apart, then you kind of can't be an effective father. I think like if you're what I mean, like if you're not like
Yes.
being a good husband and like taking care of your wife, then the same thing like we are talking about before, like your kids are gonna see that, and
Yeah.
then
So
that kind of
basically,
falls.
if your marriage isn't healthy, can you truly thrive as a father?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like so. I always thought about that, and I think it went back to early on too, like with the whole thing of like what our life was supposed to look like. Now we got the kids, so we always made sure we had time to spend with each other. Like, I mean, we're like basically we only been married for a year, didn't really get to do anything because we were struggling. So now this is like our time to do stuff. So we kind of still try to go on like trips and go on dates and stuff like that. So we still try to keep that up now. Like it's been 8 years. We still try to do like a trip every year with just me and her. We try to do date nights. I mean, it's not as much as it used to be, but we still try to go out to dinner and stuff like that. You still got to like be the husband still. Like you can't just be full fledged. You get stuck in like, well, I got to be the dad. And everything's about the kids. And I think that's a lot of like couples where you just get so caught up in like raising kids that you forget like to date your spouse still. You know?
Yeah, and I agree with you because I mean, my wife and I we're there, man. It's you do get caught up in just raising the kids, and all the time goes to the kids, and
Yeah,
trying to make sure your wife is happy because you are right. If the marriage isn't 100%, everything's gonna start to crumble. Um,
yeah.
One word that describes fatherhood.
For me, man, fulfilling for sure.
Biggest fear.
Um, Biggest fear. I mean, it's still I think that same trend of like not feeling like I'm enough or doing enough. I think that's going less and less now, but I think that's still like always in the back of my mind.
Biggest joy.
Um, Dude, just I don't know, man. Being with the kids, man, every day.
And spending that time with the kids every day, has that made you a better person with your inner self, like you said?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think a lot of it is like I was saying, helping them through stuff. That's been like my own therapy of um, like helping me kind of realize stuff and let go of some things. Um, I mean, the biggest one was like the drinking thing. I mean, I still was dealing with that for a long time. I'm 3 weeks now, no drinks. So
Oh man, congratulations.
thanks, bro. But yeah, it was a long time coming. So it started off with the pressure, but then you just get into that habit, you get stuck there. So it was like a long time, dude. So I think that's the main thing. Where I mean, that's the same. I had to like look at myself and be like, yo, like if you really want to be the dad you want to be or the dad you think you are, you're gonna have to stop doing that shit. So I think just talking to them and going through that stuff and like looking back on my own self was like I'm always kind of trying to make myself better. So that's the main thing. So hopefully, like I said, 3 weeks out. So
Going through that and listening to you, and man, that takes a lot to admit that you gave it up, because
yeah,
you just can't do it no more. You saw better. You wanted to be better. For the dad listening who you know is trying to connect with his daughters, who is maybe even drinking every night, to feeling sorry for himself, what advice would you give him?
yeah, I would say, man, like as far as like with your kids or if you want to have a better relationship, I mean, I don't know if this has worked for everybody. For me, I just try to listen to them like as much as I can. Like, and not every conversation needs to be like a life lesson type deal. Like sometimes they just want to vent too, just like anybody else. So you just got to like sit down and listen to their problems, and not make everything like, oh, how was your day? Like kind of like because kids are gonna close off. If you just ask them like, how was your day? Oh, it was good. And then like if you just accept that one word answer, then that's all you're gonna get. Like. So I try to ask them more. Like, oh, like what was something fun you did today, or like, or even if I notice that they're not feeling right, I always like kind of sit them down, like, yo, what's up, man? Like, do you want to talk about it or no? And if they're like, no, I'm like, not right now, or do you want to talk about it later? Or you can come talk to me whenever you're ready. But like, I don't want you to be festering on something that like you need to get out. So I always just try to listen to them as much as I can, man. I think that goes back to like me not having anybody that was like trying to see what's up with me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Um, and then as far as the alcohol stuff, man, it's just it does feel like an escape at first, man. But you're really just like um, digging a deeper hole, man. Like it, because it's like for me, it was like every day I would drink, and I feel like I was like the edge was off, so I feel like I could be, dad or whatever. Like I honestly felt like I could be more present when I was drinking, because if I wasn't drinking, then I was just like stuck in my own head with like the negative self talk and beating myself up about all kinds of stuff. So once I would have a drink, then my mind would like kind of quiet down, then I can feel like I was being there. But you're only there for a couple hours till you have too many, and then you don't fucking remember anything that happened.
Yeah, it's
And then the next day, it's this terrible cycle, dude. The next day, I wake up and fuck, I don't remember going to bed. I don't remember what I said to my kids. So you have like anxiety all day long about like you don't know what the hell just happened, and then you just have to fucking drink again to. So you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you
like
gotta get out of that cycle, dude. It's terrible.
yeah, man, and it's crazy because the last guest, my buddy LaRon, same thing, man. It's he went through that dark space where he was drinking a lot, and he had to change, and it was because of his kids. And you see us as dads, as we, the pressure that it brings and how we escape. Even, I mean, even with me, because I'm obviously not perfect, like the drinking, like I was at a point in my life when my kids were a lot more little, or a lot more younger, where I was drinking a lot. Like
Yeah,
that was me. Like come home, get off of a 12-hour shift of being an ER tech, making $17 an hour, trying to raise two kids before Macy came, and trying to provide, and that was my escape. And all it did was hurt the situation and made my wife not trust the whole me being a dad.
yeah,
So I'm proud of you, man. It takes a lot. I will forever encourage you to keep on doing the non-drinking, if that's what it is, and that's what you want to be. And again, if you need any help, brother, like any encouragement, like I'm totally here. Like again, going over your bio, man, it's just it's a dope story. It's only knowing you for the last what year or so, like just watching you and listening to you and seeing you even grow is amazing. Um, when your daughters get an opportunity to listen to this podcast, what are your hopes of them saying about you?
um, shit. If they listen to this, man, I don't know. Because I feel like I'm pretty transparent with them, so I feel like everything that I've felt, I've kind of told them. Um, but I feel like maybe they just, you know, like when they say they're like, hey, you know what, man, like you were maybe just knowing like the struggle that it was at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they were young, dude. I don't think they really. I mean, I'm sure they remember it, but I don't think they saw it from our side. You know, because at the time they were just like, well, maybe I'm gonna go back home. You know, I don't know. But knowing like what it was for us in the beginning, um, and like, I don't know, we probably didn't seem like we knew what the hell we were doing at all, man. But we were just faking it every day, dude.
yeah.
8 years
So
later, bro.
when our kids grow up, we just hope that they walk away with the life lessons and the lessons that we taught them. As your daughters grow up, what are the hopes that they walk away, that they've learned from you and your wife, that they take away and continue their life with?
Oh man, I just hope that they like grow to be like strong, like confident women that don't have to like seek the validation of anybody. Um, you know, I want them to not necessarily like feel like, well, I don't need no man, but like not kind of be that chick that just like any nice guy that comes around, or you know, what I mean, like there's like fucking knucklehead dudes out there that will say anything. I want them to be like see through the bullshit and be like, yo, that guy is fucking whack.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, I just want them to be like confident, strong. You know, I want them to like be driven, um, and just you know, kind of like my thing is like family. You know what I mean? My family's super close, so we're always hanging out. So I want them to like have that same value. Like
yeah.
to want to hang
Family,
out with us and barbecue, and like they should hang out together and hang out. You know what I mean? Like they're getting closer with my nieces and nephews from my brothers, so like I want that group to be close. Like I think that's my main thing is like I want them to like value family the way that we value family.
Yeah.
And I hope
Family,
that keeps with them for a long time.
family is huge, and I feel like that's the part that I think my kids are missing in the sense of like being with cousins and hanging out and understanding that because all I don't have any like I do have family here, but everybody's older. There's no young kids. They don't have no young cousins, and on my side, it's where my wife is at, and a lot of them are in like in San Diego.
Yeah,
But the huge part of just keeping them together and keeping them hold it down is family. Um, and I think you're doing honestly you're doing the right thing. You're making the right moves, and again, I'm proud of you, man. And I just want to say, as we come to a close of this podcast, I want to thank you so much for coming on,
thank
sharing
you,
your
man.
story, and giving some advice to the dads out there who are trying to figure it out, for the dads who don't have that close relationship with their kids and trying to build that. I want to thank you for that, man, and I want to thank you for your time and coming on to the Present Father podcast. And is there anything you would like to share, last few words to the dads out there that are listening that just want to be
Um,
better or just, need some positivity, some
yeah,
positive
I think,
affirmation?
yeah, I think it's just that same thing, man. Like you're doing enough, man. Just keep showing up every day. You know what I mean? Like that same thing. Like just being present. Like it's not always about how much money you're making or where you're going and stuff like that. Obviously, you want to make good memories and shit like that, but sometimes the memories that could be made could just be like chilling at the house watching movies together. You know, like maybe sometimes. I mean, I don't know everybody's financial situation, but if you're always at work and shit, I mean, sometimes your kids they're not gonna know how much money you made. They're just gonna know my dad was never down. You know, they're
Yeah.
always at work.
Oh man, that hits hard, man, because I was holding down two jobs and
Yeah,
I know we're at the close of this, but my turning point where I left my job was when my daughter had her friend over and I was walking past the room and I believe I told you this story before, but my daughter comes into my room and she was like, "Hey dad, like my friend was like, who's that man?" And I had to tell her like, "Hey, that's my dad."
yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you have a dad?"
Oh damn, bro.
Yeah, dog. That right there changed my whole mind frame of being a present father because you're here you're working so much in your home that even your own kids' friends don't even know you're here because you're never here. That's
Yeah,
like I don't know how to share that, but that's what changed me is like I guess hard work eventually, yes, it pays off, but it takes away a lot of time with your kids, and that's the only time you do get because eventually they do grow up. Eventually they do want to be on their own. Eventually they don't want to hang out with you.
yeah.
Sorry, that was off the scale, man. When you said
No, no,
that,
it's
and
cool,
I just
man. I
wanted
think
to spend your
that's a
time.
valid point too, man. I guess maybe like I mean, if you got to grind it out and you got to work and you got to do two jobs and like like you're saying, like you got to be the provider. You can't just be like not making any money. Be like, well, I got to be here for my kids, or like sleeping on cardboard mattresses or whatever. But
Yeah, the balance is
I just
hard.
think
The balance is
maybe
hard.
if you got to grind out, man, like when you're home, it's got to be like it's got to be their time with you. And I don't know if a lot of people come home, they're like, well, I got to decompress, and it's a me time type deal. You know what I mean? So and if you're gonna grind it out like that, then like when you are home, it's got to be like we're just posted with the kids, man.
Yeah. So again, Cam, thank you, sir, for joining. For all the dads out there, um, again, Cam's story is very unique. Cam's story is a situation that we all don't get into, but realize who Cam is, who he has become, and uh, all this the self doubt to fighting the inner child to the alcohol. This man has changed. This man has given up things to be better for himself, to be better for his kids, and that 100% shows what a present father looks like. For everybody out there who tuned in and watched this episode, I hope y'all take away a lot from it, because changing yourself to better your kids is only going to make life a lot better for everyone. Because we are the men of the house, we are the present dads, and we are the ones that are gonna, be the role model of who our daughters are going to want to marry. And speaking from being a girl dad, like, we have to continue showing up. We have to continue showing that we are present. And yeah, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of the camp's journey. And I hope y'all join us for the next one. Thank you so much.
So, thank you, man.
All right, brother.
All right, peace.